Hi, I'm Jen Zanone. I'm your Republican candidate for Congress in New Jersey's 10th District. Like each of you, I have been glued to the news, watching the events that are unfolding across our nation with sorrow and anger and uncertainty. But one thing that we all need to remember, be sure of, is that 96% of Americans believe that there needs to be justice for George Floyd's murder at the hands of a police officer. Many Americans could barely bring themselves to watch that entire video. That's how disturbing it was. My mom cried when she watched it. I kept looking away. And I can only imagine the anger and frustration that people in his community are feeling, and peaceful protests are absolutely understandable. But there is no justifiable cause for the rioting and violence and murder that's happening across our nation. And our current congressman issued a statement saying that there are times when violence is necessary, such as the Boston Tea Party. He needs to reread his history books. That protest, which led to a revolution and the founding of this great nation, was entirely peaceful. It was a solemn and silent event. Not a single person was injured, and the only damage to the 3 ships involved was a single broken padlock. Unlike these riots, he was brutally beaten by a mob and left broken on the street. This officer was shot and left to die on the street alone. She was viciously attacked with a 2x4 while her husband tried to help her. Multiple violent deaths and attacks are not the answer. Those officers have been arrested. They deserve to be. It's unacceptable. One single murder is unacceptable. But that these innocent people that are being attacked on the streets and beaten so violently, they don't deserve it. They didn't do this. Yet celebrities continue to post bail and raise money for these bail funds that you're seeing online. As of yesterday, about $20 million had been raised. And they're posting bail for anybody who's arrested during these protests. Anyone. They are not distinguishing between violent people and peaceful protesters. And we need to start differentiating between the two. We don't need a congressman who tells his constituents that violence is not the answer solely because it will give the authorities a justifiable excuse for excessive force. Violence is never the answer. We need a leader who will not tolerate violence on either side for any reason. We need to punish those in authority who abuse the power that they're given. Absolutely, nobody should have 18 complaints against them and still be able to have power over people. Nobody should. But getting rid of the police is dangerous and insane, and I can't believe that we have leaders who are openly embracing this. One mayor who is calling, or city council person is calling for this, at the same time saying that we need to understand then that when our garages are broken into, don't call the police. What happens if you are attacked or you are the victim of a violent crime or any kind of crime? Who's going to help you? We can't abolish the police. That will bring us back to the Wild West. We've come pretty far from the Wild West. I really don't want to go back, and I don't think the majority of Americans do as well. What we need right now is to pray for peace and For improving dialogue about race across this nation, we need to have tolerance for each other, and show compassion for each individual and each life. I hope you all stay safe, and find peace.